Okay, so I made a video last night and it wasn't very good because I was kind of drunk, and I do apologize for that. I do have to stop making videos when I'm drunk. But I had some stuff to say, and I think I'm just going to remake the video now and just say all those things again. So to begin with, I wanted to talk about something Jordan Peterson said about the a priori framework that we need to apply in order to have morality. So he was debating Sam Harris on stage at the time, and Sam Harris said that, well, there's not always a need for an a priori framework to judge what is good and bad. And he was coming from the lens of The Moral Landscape, his book that he wrote about morality and science. He said that if you put your hand on a hot stove, there isn't a lot of a priori moral framework going on when you pull away. Like, you just automatically by instinct know that something is going wrong, that there is suffering happening. And I think it might have been Jordan Peterson that brought up the example of saving your child from a burning house. There's not a lot of like a priori framework happening in order to understand the morality of saving your child from a burning house. Where I want to kind of jump in on the conversation, and this is probably going to annoy Sam Harris if he ever sees this video. It might, I don't know. He's a big boy. But where I think this lesson comes in when it applies to antinatalism is we already have a kind of reflexive understanding that when you bring someone into the world, it is going to cause suffering. This is something we all know. We all understand it very instinctually. It's been passed down through all the generations since thousands and thousands of years ago. It's something we observe. It's something we see in movies. It's something we've philosophized about. We've seen in the we've explored through academia. But we still don't necessarily need an a priori framework to understand that bringing someone into existence will cause suffering. I think the a priori framework comes in when we justify bringing someone into existence and having them suffer. We come up with reasons and excuses for why we should bring people into existence despite the suffering. But I think if we paid more attention to our own instincts, we would know that it is suffering to bring someone into existence. And I know we have a biological drive, but we're so much more than our biological drive, right? We have these massive brains, and we can use them to think about things, right? We can use them to rationalize things and understand things. And I feel that drives more of our behavior than our pure sexual drives or reproductive drives. I think we pull a lot from our intellect, you know what I mean? And I think that it comes almost naturally to our intellects even that suffering is the natural result of birth, of bringing people into existence. That being said, I also want to divert a little bit into a small diversion. Wow, so eloquent, Khalid. I want to divert a bit into adoption. I know for people, they think that having children is sort of the highest calling somebody can have. And I know that's to the detriment of people who choose to be childless or choose not to have kids. Because it makes them, in certain circles, it makes them look like they're less of a human being and they're selfish, etc., etc. Like, people do say these things because there is this cultural ethos, right, that having kids is the highest form of humanity. It should be all our callings, it should be our highest calling in life. But I have to say that if you think about adoption, if you take the same reasons for having kids and you apply that to adoption then becomes something even better, right? And I'm not saying everybody should adopt children. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying using the framework of having children and then applying that to adoption, that is an even more altruistic and more morally sound way of raising kids, right? Because these kids already exist. Like when you have kids, when you birth kids, you're adding to the need in the world. You're adding to the suffering in the world, because that's just one more person that gets created in order, and they have all these desires and wants, and they suffer, etc., etc. But if you adopt a kid, you're taking somebody that's already in existence. They have no choice. They exist, and they're gonna be in existence, and they have needs and they have wants. They want to be loved. They want to be taken care of. And if you could swoop in and take care of that child, you solve an issue. You solve an issue of suffering. Well, you don't solve suffering, but you solve an issue of need and want, like right there. And you're doing it out of the goodness of the pure goodness of your heart, right? You're not doing it out of some biological reproductive drive that you feel you have to satisfy, right? You're taking care of someone else's kid, and you're doing so out of the good judgment and moral stability. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. I think I was kind of smooth in this video. We'll see on the rerun, but whether it's smooth or not, I'll just repost it. I mean, I'm gonna die soon anyway, so might as well just get it all out there in whatever way I can, right? Okay, bye.